Turning to Texas, Senator Perry, as all of you heard in his description of the justification for his filing of the Kratom ban bill, he recognized that there are benefits from Kratom and that there are people who are benefiting from it. But his problem with it was that that based on the information he had been provided, that the current KCPA there is ineffective in regulating the bad products. In fact, in the discussion that I had with him, he alleged that that was a position held by the American Kratom Association. It reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of how these kinds of enforcement activities in the dietary supplement space work. It was not our survey that was done. And by the way, the survey was done by Global Kratom Coalition, and it is perfectly appropriate for that information to be gathered and good for them for doing so, and then passing it on to the appropriate regulatory officials in the state of Texas, which happens to be the Attorney General's office, and that was done. The strategic mistake, in my opinion, was that they then issued press releases on it, and it was a press release that Senator Perry handed to me, believing that it was the American Kratom Association who conducted the survey and was acknowledging the failure of the enforcement mechanism within the Texas KCPA. And as I mentioned earlier, in fact, that enforcement mechanism requires and relies upon the enforcement agencies to take action when they are alerted to a violation, as occurred with the survey that was done by the GKC. The fact that the Texas Attorney General's office or local law enforcement people chose, at least for the moment, not to exercise that particular enforcement activity is not the flaw in the law. If you want a law that says that you will have the kind of enforcement mechanism that is sought by some to be 100% perfect, you'll have a Gestapo state. The federal government doesn't do it that way with dietary supplement regulations. It does do it, or ostensibly does it, for drugs. And so the idea here that the KCPA, in trying to supervise or to regulate 7-hydroxymetrogenine, the fact that the enforcement agency that is enforcing it isn't doing their job as they should be doing, is hardly the reason to ban it. And we think that Senator Perry's concerns are misplaced.